Hi, everybody. Good morning. It's Tuesday. It's, summertime, sort of. It's the first day in a long time that the sun has shined today and it's not raining. So, for those of you that don't know, we just got back from Europe. We were on the Presidential Diamond trip, and it was incredible, and it was hot and like just summery in Europe. But here in Wisconsin, it was not. So we kind of didn't miss anything. It was just like an extension of spring, which is what we're finding June is. But today it actually looks amazing. So I have been up since early trying to pound out work so that we could enjoy some family time today. And then I realized we have dentist appointments. So maybe tomorrow. But anyway, I'm happy to be back with you. It's funny how if I take like 2 weeks off, I feel completely disconnected, or it just feels like I've been gone months, you know? And I think that's probably just because this is such a routine for us, and we've done Tipster Tuesday for about 18 months or so consistently every week. And I've loved it. I love every minute of it. So to not do it almost feels like something is wrong or we're off. So anyway, just wanted to say hi. I'm excited to be back. If this is your first time joining me or us, my name is Dana Moore, and I'm a Presidential Diamond with doTERRA. And every Tuesday morning, sometime on a Tuesday morning, depending on my schedule, I come on live and do a Tipster Tuesday to chat through things about the business that I find would be very relevant and helpful for you. And I try to do it in about 20 minutes because I know that your time is valuable. And honestly, if I don't have anything good to say in 20 minutes, I probably don't have anything good to say at all. And so I want to get it done as quick as possible so that you can apply it and move forward. So I felt that we would do a 5-week series starting this week on the basics of building a business. And some of you are, diamonds and blue diamonds and higher ranks, and you've been doing this business for years. And I want to encourage you to stick with me for this time, because I even find that when I get a refresher on some of the basics or maybe a verbiage change, it really helps change the trajectory of my business, even though it's something that simple. And I also think that you can never go wrong with the basics. Like you can never you can never have enough of the foundations that you need to build this business. Because if your foundation is strong, everything on that. The other thing is, as many of you, probably even premiers, silvers and stuff, you have people underneath you building this business. And sometimes you don't know where to start, or the launch seems too complicated or too busy. And I think I can break down kind of the sales cycle in 5 weeks. And I'm actually going to be using the acronym that we use, through doTERRA International, which is PIPES: the prepare, invite, present, enroll, and support, and kind of break down what that means to me. So those of you who know or use Live Naturally, I actually use Live Naturally handouts. I use Live Naturally tools to teach my business. But the foundation and the principles of PIPES, I think that applies to no matter what tool you're using, whatever paperwork applies to you or whatever speaks to you, you can use PIPES. And it's nice that we kind of all speak the same language and prepare ourselves to be successful in the same way. So just so you have a little bit of context of where I'm coming from, that's for you. And I do have a PDF I'll post for you guys that have the breakdown of week 1 of the basics. I put those always in Live Naturally system. It's a Facebook group. So if you're not part of that, you can request to be added to Live Naturally system. We'll be happy to add you if you're a doTERRA builder. Because unless I don't know something, maybe you guys know something, but I obviously can't upload files to Instagram. And on a Facebook group, on our Live Naturally Tools group, I don't think there's that option either, unless I just don't know. So we just keep them in our Facebook group, Live Naturally system. I know that part's a tad confusing, but any files that I talk about end up there. So you can connect there. And then, of course, our website has a lot of free downloads and different things as well. But Tipster Tuesday, additional information that I provide for you is always in Live Naturally system. Okay, so let's dive in here. So the first thing we're going to talk about, the basics, part 1, is preparing. And I'm going to break this down into five little pieces, 5 little ways that we prepare to do this business. Because if we're not prepared, that's exactly what kind of energy we'll kind of present to other people is this lack of preparation, this kind of lack of not knowing what to do. And really what that comes across like is insecure energy. Is like, okay, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what to say. And I don't think that everything needs to be curated and polished. In fact, if you follow me here, or if you follow me on my personal Instagram, Live More Life, live.more.life, you'll know that I'm not perfectly curated, and I don't even believe in that, okay? So that's not what I'm saying. I don't think you have to be polished and perfect before you do things with doTERRA, but there is a level of preparation that will serve you really well, and that's what we're gonna dive into, okay? So the first thing I want you to talk to you about is preparing you. And what I mean by that is, in doTERRA, if you're brand new in doTERRA, or you've been in this for a long time, you still have to be a product of the product. That's the most important thing. And sometimes when we get so comfortable with something, it's like we get comfortable with, you know, our family members, we get comfortable with our furniture, our house, we don't remember to change things up. We get comfortable with how things are. So even if you've been in this for a while, I want to encourage you to take a new look at doTERRA products and be more of a product of a product. And you kind of do so by anchoring your lifestyle to doTERRA's oils and doTERRA's supplements and doTERRA's personal care products and cleaning products. And so this is my challenge to you, okay, whether you're new or you've been involved, is every single month, if you haven't already tried all of doTERRA's products, every single month when you place your LRP order, order a new oil, always order a new oil, and always order a new product, okay? You want to be ordering those two things, something you've never tried before. Now, if you have it all, you're like, I'm stocked, I've tried every single thing, you're probably not using everything, so challenge yourself to use a new product or a new oil every single month and use it every single day as many times as you can think of it. So what that would mean is, like, maybe this month you ordered pink pepper and it was the brand new oil, you ordered it. You would want to apply it topically. You would want to diffuse it. You would want to take it in a veggie cap on a daily basis. You'd want to mix and match with diffuser recipes. So every day, maybe diffuse it with something else or two other things to figure out what you like the best about it. You would read up on it. You would, you know, kind of like dive into it, research it. Like, don't go anywhere without your pink pepper. And you become such a product of the product, and you have a test. And then when people say, what do you use for XYZ? You're like, oh, I'm obsessed with this right now, or I love this right now. Or when someone says, man, you have so much energy, what are you doing? You're like, you know what? I faithfully take my supplements every day, and it's made all the difference, and things like that. So you see how you would have such genuine testimony if you are prepared, as in your body, yourself, the oils, the things that you put in, on, and around, you're preparing you to be a product of the product, to be a testimony, and to be a walking billboard, to be a salesperson. And that's super important. And if you've gotten lazy in your doTERRA habits, I would encourage you to pick those back up and pick them up strong. And some of the things that we've done in our team is to reignite builders and customers is we've done things like a Melissa challenge, where for 10 days, everybody uses a drop of Melissa under their tongue every single day. You could do things like that. You could do lifelong vitality challenges, and you could do this personally for yourself, but if you're leading other people, you could do that too. But to take the full dose of lifelong vitality every single day for 30 days, that's going to provide for you a really, really powerful testimony. But if you just kind of sort of take your vitamins like haphazardly here and there, you're not going to have a ton to say about it. You're going to feel better for sure, but you want to be able to promote these products with like confidence, with assurance, and that's not going to happen unless you're using them really consistently. So I encourage you, go back through your oils, open your case up, pick out an oil you haven't tried in a while and be like, this is the oil I'm going to focus on. And sometimes our intuition will lead us that way too. Or like you open it up and you're like, I don't know, I feel really drawn to Slim and Sassy. Let's see what this metabolic blend can do, and then go for it. That's how I found that not only have I fallen in love with oils I didn't think I loved, but I found that I've increased my oil knowledge month over month over month. And often people will say, how do you know what you know? And it's just because I've used the products. And that's going to make you a better educator in the future. Okay. So prepare you every day, diffuse, every day use, make a new roller, do something fun, like set aside 15 minutes to play with your new oil or product that you're using every single day. Set aside, it's not that much time, honestly, but it's going to pay off big time in your business. Okay. Second thing you need to prepare, and now honestly, we're not even talking about teaching and things like that yet. We're really just getting ourselves ready to be wellness advocates that make a difference. Okay, so we're going to prepare you, and now we're going to prepare them. And by them, I mean that the people you usually invite to your doTERRA events and classes in the beginning are the people that you have relationship with already, that you trust, they trust you, you have history with them, that there's some kind of relationship going on. And so by preparing them, I want you guys to start sharing more of what you're doing. So if you're new, so I'm going to speak to the brand new builder, the maybe you've only been in doTERRA a couple months, make sure you tell your family what you're doing, why you're doing it and how much their support means to you. I have fallen in love with doTERRA. It's changed everything. It's changed my energy. Remember those headaches I used to have? I don't have those headaches anymore. It's been amazing. And now I'm really looking into the business side of it because I would love to have a side gig that helps us, meet our financial goals or get out of debt, or, we've always wanted to move to a better school district or whatever it may be, and so that's why I'm doing this. Don't make it complicated. Make it really simple. People will be able to relate to that and they'll be like, oh, okay, that's incredible. I love what you're doing. So make sure you share those things with the people that you love and tell them that their support would mean a lot to you. You could even say things like, I haven't really launched yet, or I'm going to have a series of classes in July, but I really need like butts in the seats. I need some really people I trust to listen as I get like my feet wet with teaching. Can I count on you for that when I'm ready to go? And maybe you've already launched, but you still there's still people in your life you haven't actually gone to, and you could go back to them and say, hey, I've been trying out this doTERRA business for a few months now, and I would love the chance to just share what I'm doing with you because I feel like I can trust you, and I need you to hear my presentation. I need you to kind of hear what I'm doing. And you tell me, how I come across, what I think. I would just love great feedback. So you're going to be able to teach to them for them, but you're going to be able to teach to them at an angle that's like they're just supporting you too. And that's really valuable. So you can prepare them in those ways. Sample people, that's a great way to prepare your audience, okay? When you just get started, if you're breaking into a new neighborhood, maybe you just moved, joining a new group, you can kind of soft launch by preparing people with samples. So anytime you're at a park or at a picnic or a cookout or out and about or taking a walk, take samples with you, have your stuff ready, but also just have your normal oils with you because here's an example. We were in Europe and we got to tour the Parliament building in Budapest, and it was so hot. Like Europe is just hot, and air conditioning isn't like a major thing there, okay? Like in hotels and stuff it is, but not really like in old, beautiful buildings. Like they're not sticking window units in these ancient, relics and things like that. So it's sweaty hot, right? Well, I have my peppermint roller with me, and I'm with a bunch of doTERRA owners and other presidential diamonds and stuff, but a lot of us didn't bring like a whole bunch of oils. I happen to put peppermint in my bag, DigestZen in my bag, and On Guard hand sanitizer spray. Those are the only 3 things I had with me, but I was able to pass my peppermint roller around and support everybody's body and cool everybody down. And that was just really simple, right? Now, obviously I'm not selling to these people, but that's just an example of how like you can be the person that is like, hey, look what I have, and you're not like trying to convince them to buy something. You're just sharing what you have. And those opportunities will come up constantly if you're prepared and if you look for them. One of the things I recommend is to kind of show everybody what you're doing and introduce them to the products is to have like an open house, invite people to come and socialize and just have casual oil experiences, have the products out and about. You can share at cookouts, picnics, ladies' nights, couples' nights. It can be everything from, oh my gosh, have you seen this? I love this. I'm obsessed with it, and just using it in front of them. It can be like a demonstration of like, check this out or come see this. And when we were all first getting started, my group of friends here, we would always be looking in each other's oil bags. You have this one, what does this do? And it was never so much as like an official class, at least for like the first year. And I don't recommend waiting that long, but that's just how we were. But it was very much like just a sharing, like, look what I have. We'd take them everywhere. We'd open up our cases and it was just like, boom, who needs oils? We've got them, And that was really helpful because it prepared people for our newest obsession. It prepared people for what we were about to do in the classes that we were about to launch and invite them to. So it's something you can do now, what you're learning to teach. And those of you that have, you're teaching and stuff already, you've probably gotten like you lost the luster of sharing. And I would just encourage you to find that vibrance again in sharing your oils and get excited about it. I mean, I was excited to share peppermint roller with everybody that already knows exactly what peppermint can do and what it's used for, but they just didn't have it with them, right? So I can be like, hey, let me serve you. I've got the peppermint roller. Guys, I even gave it to Dr. Hill. And he was so appreciative because he was sweating his brains out. And we have these solutions, right? So get excited about sharing your oils again. If you need a sheet to kind of help you think about who to sample and who to invite and things like that, we have like a PDF you can download from livenaturallytools.com. It's called Tend Your Garden, and it kind of helps you set people up as like in different brackets, like who do I need to plant? Like who do I need to plant seeds with? Who do I need to water? Who do I need to till the soil with, maybe who's too rocky right now, and who do I need to harvest? And it kind of helps you keep people, keep track of your people, especially the people that are the warmest market for you. But later you're going to need even a more intense tracking system. Okay. So that was prepare you, prepare them. Prepare your materials is my third one. I want you to make sure that your purse, your gym bag, your car, your backpack, your diaper bag has a couple sample packets in it, because where your focus goes, okay, where your focus goes, your energy flows. And if you're constantly thinking, I'm going to be able to meet somebody today that I can sample or share oils with, or while I'm out and about, I want to be able to share my oils with somebody. If you're prepared for it, and if you have your bag stocked, you will look for those opportunities. You will be looking for them. You will want them. I'm about to go to the dentist today with my daughter. My dentist is already enrolled, but her hygienists aren't, and it's a very natural dentist. And I'm going to go up with samples ready for whoever gets to work on my daughter's teeth. And I'm going to be ready to, connect with them and share more about it. And every time I go up there, I have a great conversation with them, but I haven't always been prepared. And my daughter will have her Brave roller with her for sure. She'll also have her Calmer roller with her for sure, because I want to model that we use these oils to support our little people as well. And I just want to be ready for all of those things. So pack your stuff up, because you never know when you're going to have an opportunity, and it can be everywhere. I always pack Live Naturally beginner's guides, because if somebody's like, oh, I've been wanting to learn about oils, I don't know a ton. You're like, look, I have this little book. Give them a beginner's guide. Make sure your info's on the back of it. This is a simple little book. Read it. Connect with me later. That kind of conversation. It's very easy to do, and maybe give them a little tiny sample of peppermint and wild orange or something like that. Okay, something to play with. The best tools we use to teach others about oils are the ones that flow the best for you. And so if you have a favorite tool or a pamphlet or a handout, like that's what you should be using. You should be using whatever flows best for you, what feels genuine to who you are, instead of trying to make yourself fit into something that maybe is too wordy or too long or isn't going to work for you. Okay. I'm very, very simple, and I like to communicate as succinctly as possible. So I want materials that reflect that, so that my conversation doesn't get muddied up by details that can be confusing. I want to go straight for a sale. I want to go straight for a class. I want to go straight for something that we can build relationship, rapport, and get to our end game, so that they can get oils in their home as soon as possible. Okay. Fourth thing is prepare your words. A lot of times, you guys, you'll get tripped up in what you're going to say because you haven't prepared and tasted what those words sound like coming off of your tongue. Okay. So, and there's truly nothing like confidence that will sell. All right. Confidence sells. People are attracted to confidence. Confidence should never be mistaken with arrogance. That's two different things, but confidence is truly humble. It's quiet. It's sure. It's not shaken. And insecurity makes everyone else feel insecure. So it's really important that you get some good, strong words down of what you're going to say, because that way, when the question comes up, it just flows off your tongue. So here's a few examples. I have these written out in my PDF for you. But, you know, you'll always hear people complain about their health. They complain about their health all the time. They complain about their doctor, although they're doing and buying into whatever their doctor's telling them to do oftentimes. But I usually say, I may have a solution for you. Would you like a sample of whatever? So whatever I hear them complaining of, I say, I may have a solution for that. Would you like to try a sample of whatever? Or would you like to order it? You know, sometimes you don't need to sample it, but they need to like just go straight for buying it, because if they have a problem, they're very likely willing to drop money for a solution. And if you have a relationship with them, they're like, okay, tell me what to do. Okay. Another one is, I just found blank to be effective for that. Would you like to try it? I've just found peppermint to be really effective for that. Would you like to try some? Maybe it'll help you too. It's helped me. Very simple, but you're just offering like, hey, I've got a solution. Another verbiage I use is, I was in the same boat until I started using blank. Like, I had no energy until I started using Lifelong Vitality. It's totally working. Do you want to try it? It's a money back guarantee, you know, and I know how to get the best discount. I can help you get that discount. And I say things like that too, because if I have those words prepared, then next week I'm not going to find out that they ordered on Amazon, because I already told them I know how to get the best discount. Like, let me know, and I'll make sure you get hooked up. I say things like that. They're very like soft words, but they resonate in your head. And if you think about it, if you have a friend selling something that has like a referral code or a discount code or something like that, usually you go back to your friend. You're like, hey, I'm ready to order, I'm ready to order that blender. Did you have that discount code handy? I'm ready to order this. Did you have that handy? And people will do the same for you with oils if you establish that you have the answer to get them at the best price. Okay, so make sure that you're doing that. Or say, when you're ready to order, you know, I'll give you some information, but when you're ready to order, come back to me. I'll make sure you're getting the specials of the month. And sometimes there's just a better discount that you wouldn't find anywhere else, and I can help you. And you don't have to go into like, sign up with me, you know, that kind of stuff. You can say those things to certain people, but I would just like to say, like, come back to me. I'll be your oil girl. Okay. Another thing that I say sometimes, and this is more in the beginning rather than now, because I'm so established as a builder, but I would say, all I know is I have more energy and I feel more alive. I didn't even know it was possible to feel so good. And so when people are saying like, do these things really work? You can be like, you don't have to be like, yes, and there's this such science to prove it, unless they want to know that. Sometimes I say, listen, all I can tell you is I feel amazing. And I feel like I have energy. I'm just loving life, you know, and you can too. So that's just something to keep in mind. You don't necessarily have to know all the answers and point them to APRC and things like that unless they're really asking that. Sometimes just share your testimony, okay? Another verbiage point, one more I'll give you, is I just started using doTERRA because I needed blank, but now I'm also looking at the business side of the thing, and the comp plan is generous, the culture is so inviting, and I would love to be paid for sharing oils with others. So when people are like, are you doing this as a business? You know, with kind of a little bit of attitude, you can be like, yes, I am, because I started using these products just because I needed solution for my son's eczema. But then it was like I had solutions for everything over and over again. And so now I would love to be able to share these solutions. Like these oils work better than I even expected. It's like a no-brainer for me to want to get them paid for, you know? And so you don't have to be weird about doing this as a business. You can just be natural, be honest about it. But sometimes you need natural verbiage so that it comes out that way. Otherwise, you'll start to stumble and lose your confidence. So that's another way to prepare. Again, I have all this in a PDF for you, okay? The other thing is prepare your heart. Prepare your heart. Not everyone is going to want to have what you have, and that is totally okay. It usually has nothing to do with you, and everything to do with their mindset. Although I will say that there are times where sometimes people are just socially unaware, and maybe throughout life or over time, you have rubbed people the wrong way over and over again. And that in itself can be the reason they're saying no. And it has nothing to do with the products or the oils. Maybe they would be super into it, but they're just actually not because of that. And so I'm just going to plant that seed that if you are like, wait, I feel like I'm doing everything right and I'm still coming up against resistance, that maybe you have to take a good hard look in the mirror and go to a trusted friend and say, what do you see that I'm not seeing? Like, I'm asking you to tell me, why are people resistant towards me, or are people resistant towards me? What can I change in that? And that takes some intense maturity to be able to really look at yourself to figure out why things aren't working out or lining up the way that I thought they would look out. So that's my way of saying that, because probably some of you need to hear that, but nobody's telling you that. And you need somebody to say, it's you. It is you. It is you. But the beautiful thing is you can change you. Okay. But a lot of times it's not you and it's them. And it's important that, it's important to know that when you're in sales, like we're all in sales, not everyone is going to buy. That's just true. Okay. But this is something that everyone needs. So we don't stop offering it. And I actually think of oils, like when I offer oils, I think of it as casual as a cup of coffee. And so I'm sure 50% of the people watching this morning right now drink coffee, and probably 50% don't. And that's just because you don't like coffee, or you don't believe in coffee, you don't want coffee, or it's too hot to drink coffee, or whatever it may be, that's totally fine. Some of you just haven't had your coffee yet. You want to have it tomorrow, or you haven't like figured out how amazing it is, and you're going to figure it out next month. That's how I think about my oil. So if I'm like, hey, Carol, do you want a cup of coffee? And she's like, no, I'm just not really into coffee. I'm like, okay, no problem. Maybe she's only ever had crappy coffee her whole life, so she just thinks coffee's bad and it doesn't work. I'm like, that's okay. Whatever, or I might be like, have you ever tried my coffee, Carol? Because it's amazing and it might change your life. Just give it a little sip, and I'm going to try to sample her, right? It just depends on that relationship. And other people were like, yeah, I want your coffee. Like, I love coffee. I'm obsessed with coffee, all things coffee related. Like, I'd love some coffee, and you're going to have that. But I want you to think of two things. One is, just because they don't want coffee today doesn't mean they won't want it tomorrow. Just because they say no to oils today or coming to doesn't mean they tomorrow. So you have to be open to the fact that people will and can and do change their minds. And sometimes they need to be offered something 7 to 12 times before they're willing to accept it. And so just keep offering. It's just kindness to keep offering the opportunity to learn, the opportunity to try, the opportunity to experience essential oils. Okay. And also have a thick skin. Okay. But there are people out there that are praying for solutions that you have. So keep offering. Just because somebody doesn't want coffee doesn't mean that the next person doesn't need it or isn't begging for it. Okay. If you don't like coffee, maybe that whole analogy breaks down, but you get what I'm saying. Coffee's not personal. Okay. I don't care if you don't want my coffee or not. I do have really good coffee at my house. Okay. It's the best that I know. I don't want to buy coffee anywhere else because mine's the best. So I'm going to offer that to everybody that walks through my door. And that's how it is with oils. We have the absolute best oils on the planet. Offer them to everybody. Offer these products to everybody. Maybe they don't want your oils, but they're super interested in supplements. Maybe they're not interested in supplements, but they really need a healthy skincare routine. Maybe they're not into that, but they need to start green cleaning. You have something that they need, and we have the best lineup out there, okay? All right, last thing, prepare your calendar. This is probably the biggest and most important thing is once you got some other things going on, because next week we're going to talk about the basics part 2. We're going to talk about inviting, but prepare your calendar. If your calendar is not set up for business, how are you going to teach? How are you going to share? How are you going to make this residual income and this pipeline grow for you? So think, how many days a week can you do doTERRA? Can you do doTERRA only 2 times a week because you have another part-time job? Can you do doTERRA 1 hour a day, because you work a full-time job? Or when can you do it? How many hours a day? How many days per week? You need to establish that. If you've never established that before, then you need to stop today and figure out when and where and how can you do doTERRA. What nights are ideal classes for you, for your family, and what nights are off limits? We always have a certain, like a small group meeting for our church on Tuesday nights. So Tuesday nights are pretty much 100% off limits for me for doTERRA. But pretty much any other night I can teach a class. I never teach on a Sunday. I always take Sunday off so our family can recalibrate and regroup. But my calendar is pretty open on other days. And I want it that way. But maybe Thursday morning is always my morning for appointments. And I try to set up one-on-ones on Thursday mornings, So you have got to get very clear about your time. So when are you open for business? I don't think there's a business on the planet, not one, that doesn't have regular office hours or work time carved out, okay? There's not. That's what you're looking for when you're looking for a business. You're looking for someone who has set hours. The business has boundaries. People take it seriously. They work within the business parameters for the hours, so you're not like, oh, that restaurant doesn't open till 4. It doesn't make you mad at that restaurant. It just makes you set your reservation or connect with them after 4. You're like, okay, then I'm going to call them after 4. You don't need to be open 24 hours a day, but you do need to have set time. And maybe that's not something that you post. I'm not saying that, but you need to know for you, for your family, that you work during those times, okay? Building residual income takes dedication, time, energy, focus. You have to make time for what's important to you. I can't tell you how many times I've coached people, worked with my own team, and I'm like, when do you work your business, and what hours and what days, and how consistent are you? How clear are you about your boundaries around your work time? And yes, this business is flexible, and that's the beauty of it. But you and I both know, it's really hard to be around your children and to work your business at the same time, because what happens is your energy is completely divided and you get frustrated at everything. Usually your kids, which isn't fair at all. But sometimes it's at, whatever other demands you have. So you need to be clear that doTERRA time is doTERRA time and family time is family time. And maybe you have another job or other things that they have their own block of time as well. Okay. If you treat your business like a business, it will pay you like a business. But if you treat it like a hobby, it will cost you. And so I want to just overemphasize the fact that you have got to prepare your calendar for success. You've got to say, what does success look like for me at the end of, August? What do I want my business to look like? At the end of July, what do I want my business to look like? At the end of this week, we still have, 6 more days in the month. What do I want my business to look like in 6 more days? What is going to define success for me? And it has to be on your calendar. You have to be making time for it. We have a calendar tear pad at Live Naturally Tools. You can go and download it for free, just a sheet of it, or you can buy the tear pad, and it has a beautiful calendar. You can use it to block your classes off with and kind of set up your doTERRA schedule for a month in advance, so that when opportunities come to teach or for one-on-ones, that you already know, I'm very clear what days I can work and what days I can't work, and that's going to set you up for success. And that's all I have for you today, you guys. This is the basics, but I know it's always good to be reminded of the basics. I know it's always good to be intentional about our business. And I hope that this challenged you in some ways and motivated you to go back and make sure that you're prepared in all of these ways. Your calendar is prepared, your heart is prepared for rejection, your words are prepared so you feel confident, you know what to say, you have your materials ready to sample and share. You're prepared the people around you for what you're doing and why it's important to you, and you've prepared yourself as being a product of the product. So that is my summary. I'll get this PDF up there right away in Live Naturally system. And next week, we're going to talk about the basics part 2, which will be inviting. I'm going to give you a lot of verbiage of what inviting looks like and how it works and what kind of inviting doesn't work that could be the reason you're not getting the success that you want. So we'll talk about that next Tuesday, which is July 2nd. Okay, so we will have a Tipster Tuesday next week because it's not quite a holiday yet. All right, let me know if you have questions. go ahead and put them in the comments. I'll try to get to them, and I try to answer your questions after I'm all done going live in the comments. And I will see you next week. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a good one.